All right, so Morkborg's next, or Droborg is next.
Droborg, yeah.
Any other plans in the near future?
Well, I
mean, you got a ton of product.
Yeah, we got, we've got the Rise of Draft of the Fall. We got the Droborg. After that, we're doing something called Treasure of Falcon Cove. It takes place on the Oregon coast. Picture a la Goonies, right? You are playing kids in the 80s on the Oregon coast that have Dungeons & Dragons characters. Something happens and some magic from an ancient shipwreck starts to get loose and starts to alter reality. And now things that were once the imagination start to become reality, including possibly your own D&D characters, in which the powers start to be imbued in your own, the kids you're playing. So picture you're playing kids, playing D&D characters that can manifest themselves, but there's also monsters and things popping out around town. So you're running around in like Manzanita, Cannon Beach, Falcon Cove, on the Oregon coast, dealing with these challenges, and picture a mix of like Stranger Things, Goonies, mix of all these.
Say Goonies.
Yeah, mix of all.
I immediately went right to Goonies.
But we're actually using some original stories by a storyteller named Stephen Rawl, who grew up on those beaches down there and told all kinds of tall tales to many kids over the years, and he's now since passed away. But we've been working on this book for him even since before he passed away, and it's going to be a fun adventure for kids and adults, because obviously very nostalgic for our age.
Yes.
But fun for the kids who also kind of didn't grow up during that time, but are watching things like Stranger Things and very interested in it, or the Goonies, And hey, we just did the Goonies. God, what was it? Was it the Goonies 30th?
Yeah.
Was it the Goonies 30th? No, 40th? 50th? 40th?
It's 40.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I watched it in high school or middle school.
Yeah, so the Goonies 40th anniversary. We just had it. So exactly. So Treasure of Falcon Cove is the next big one coming up after all that. So that's one I haven't really told many people about that. So that's a big semi-secret that you can have as a big.
And that'll be
expose
early-ish next year. You'll start doing whatever you're doing with it.
Yes, it'll probably be early 2026 for Kickstarter. Yeah,
and then late 2026 if everything goes perfectly for fulfillment. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's about right. So after the fall, we already did the Kickstarter. So Riser After the Fall is going to come out is going to be released in March 2026. Droborg is going to launch on Kickstarter September, October of 2025. But fulfillment will come probably mid to late 2026. And then Treasure Falcon Cove will probably Kickstarter early-ish 2026 with fulfillment later 2026.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one other cool thing I noticed is you've got a new toy. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not really a toy.
It's a tool. It's a play. Oh. It's a play aid.
Now I get it.
Amber.
Well, I only saw Amber that way.
Yeah. So Amber, AMBR. These are Amber cards. The whole deal with this is that I was going to my daughter's D&D club, and she had a lot of kids there that were struggling to learn Dungeons and Dragons. And I donated a bunch of products. I started teaching the kids, and I quickly found out that for whatever reason, they kept getting bogged down in D&D combat. They just weren't getting it. So I was like, we need to create a system for this. So I created Amber, which is action, move, bonus action, reaction. And so what you do is when you do each of these things, you just simply flip them over. So when you have these sitting in front of you, when you're done with the action, you just turn it over. With move, you could always, instead of flipping it over, you could turn it sideways if you've done half your move, and then you flip it over once you've done all of your move. And then, of course, bonus action, once that flips over, you'd still have reaction left. That would also remind the kid or the adult learning D&D that if they have an opportunity of attack, or they have like a reaction like Hellish Rebuke, they get hit for some damage. Oh wait, I still have this reaction I can use. I'm going to use Hellish Rebuke and do some damage. Then on the next turn, they flip them all back over. My main goal with these is not to make money. My main goal with these was to help teach D&D, because if I could have had someone to come help me learn when I was first starting out, I would have absolutely loved that. And I want to make sure that I continue to pass the torch as well. So I have this, and I'm coming up with some other ideas on ways to help kids too. So if there's anyone out there that has nonprofits or wants to donate or wants to put me in touch with anyone that's doing this kind of stuff, the goal is to mass produce these and get them into schools and libraries and teen D&D clubs all over the world, really. I mean, starting with the US, and help kids learn D&D. I'm not looking for any financial reimbursement for that. It's just something that we want to get out there. So
have you done it as a print and play?
What I did, no, that's a good idea though. I've done it. I did a Kickstarter for it just to make the cards, to get the cards done, right? Like, so we could get some of them going. So right now I'm doing them print on demand through Drive-Thru Cards, but ultimately in a perfect world, I'd like to have like maybe someone can go on the website and they can print them themselves, or better yet, where we could have people sign up through some kind of a program to get some kind of a package from multiple publishers of play aids that help kids and teens get started. I think it would be really neat to be able to have something like that that's some kind of a nonprofit. And I unfortunately won't have the time to put together a nonprofit, but I want to help facilitate. I want to be a part of what other people have going. And I've heard like the Lazy Dungeon Master may have some kind of a thing going where he's helping out with things like that. So someone I met at this con said they have lunch with him once a week. So I'm hoping that maybe they'll talk to him and connect me with him, and we can get, I think it was Mike Shea, right? The Lazy DM.
I think that's what it is.
So I'd love to be able to get these out there and into the world so that they can be a benefit to kids, teens, or even adults that are just learning 5th edition. So
maybe you can hook up with Free RPG Day.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea. So Free RPG Day contacted me before the con, and I told myself I'm not going to have time to talk to you until I get back. But that's a fantastic idea, because they said that they only do like 16-page books and beyond, right? But maybe they're willing to make an exception if there's something like this that's a play aid to help people learn, or maybe I can piggyback with another publisher to get them put into kind of a package with someone else's intro book or something, like.
Oh yeah.
The ultimate goal is just to get them out there. I don't even need necessarily credit for it or something.
Right.
I just want to get them out there.
You want it to grow. I mean.
I want to grow for beneficial reasons.
Yeah. All right.
We're passing the torch. You got to keep that torch lit. Keep that flame strong.
Who would have thought that 50 years later we'd still be playing these games?
Well, I kind of always knew. I'm like, as I started getting old, the thing I was really excited about was when it stopped being something you get beat up for. Because remember back in school, you couldn't even talk about it. I mean, people.
I didn't have that issue.
Really? Well, you were one of the lucky few.
So, I grew up in a smallish town.
Yeah, I did too.
The neighboring town was smallish or smaller.
Okay.
And at 180 pounds, I was the big kid.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and I had a reputation. So my 2 older brothers.
Yeah.
They left a reputation.
Okay. So nobody messed with you.
Yeah, I was very much left alone. By the time I was a freshman, I'd already been training in the martial arts for 4 years.
Okay.
And everybody knew.
Yep.
And the teacher said, "That's a Lemke.
Don't mess with him."
I'm not. No, he said, "I'm not messing with
nice.
him." And it was the teacher that everybody was like, "Really? You're not messing with him?"
That's funny. Yeah, one of my good friends in high school, he was the DM for Planescape. His name was Eric.
Oh, wow.
And he was like 6 foot something. And he was, not only was he in martial arts, but he got a black belt in one martial art, so he went to another one. Then he got a black belt in that one, so he went to another. So he ended up with like 3 black belts. When I was hanging out with him, they messed with us once, and they never messed with us
you again.
after that. No.
I had somebody attempt to mess with me once, and I put him in a locker. And then I closed it.
Oh, jeez.
And he was a senior.
Oh, my gosh.
When I was a freshman. And the same kid kicked the legs out, was bullying. He kicked the legs out from someone who was overweight. And I said, "Help her up." And he said, "No, you're not going to do nothing about it. There's 4 of us." I said, "I don't care what those 3 do to me, but you won't walk out of this school today."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay, I'll help her up." Because I had already put him in the locker once.
Jeez.
But
there's sure some mean kids in school. Now they just harass each other over social media.
I mean,
but I'm glad to see that nerd culture is finally like acceptable. Not only acceptable, but people are enjoying it and they're like embracing it, and it's become part of the mainstream to the point where we've got things like Marvel movies and Lord of the Rings. I mean, who would have ever thought like us being kids back in the day? I mean, our heads would have exploded.
Yeah,
I think our heads would have literally exploded.
They would have.
Yeah.
I mean, I think part of it too is cultures are a little different. We were in a small school, like my graduating class was only 140 people.
Oh man, you were in a smaller town than me.
Yeah, we had.
Wow.
I mean, my kid's high school band was bigger than my graduating class.
Wow.
So we had some cliques, but as a whole, we didn't really have cliques. So I think because we were so small, we had kind of a different community.
Okay.
And yeah, we definitely bullied each other, but we called it camaraderie. I mean, we would walk up, bam, give them a good punch.
You're just kind of messing with each other a little bit, not.
We would really punch people.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we would really hit.
Got it.
But we didn't. We knew who could take what and do what. Like we would do it harder for some.
Yeah, you wouldn't just do that to the nerdy, scrawny kid who's just trying to get down the hallway.
I don't feel that in my school anyone with me, there were people that definitely did it to coerce others.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I think it was very small. I mean, my whole high school was only like 500 people, and there might have been 3 or 4 people that did that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I grew up. I was very fortunate with that.
Well, that's good. So you didn't get jumped playing D&D.
No, I got jumped at Akron University when I went there. That was just for walking down the wrong side of the street.
Oh.
That was totally different.
Yeah, I understand.
But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
That's a life thing that I learned. I'm still here, so I walked away.
Mm-hmm. I've had one of those too. I've been jumped before, and I was asking like, "What's happening? Why are you attacking me?" You know, like, I don't know what I did.
You're just here.
But I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they just had their sights set on me, and that was the way it was, I guess, you know. So
that is, yeah.
Sometimes people just have aggression. They want to take it out on somebody.
Wrong neighborhood, wrong time of day.
Yeah.
You know, you're not supposed to be down here at night. Anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you can apply all that to role-playing now. Because it's okay to bully characters.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think... I mean, unless there's anything you want to add about all your really wonderful books. Like, I mean, I see Mini Dungeon Tome. I see I don't know what Roltmork is.
Yeah, Roltmork is it's going a little bit back to the old school. It's kind of like an old school deadly dungeon with extremely deadly creatures, but there's a very in-depth story there as well. There's an entire language in the book. There's ways to decipher the language. There's murals that have clues in them. There's a multitude of things where you encounter something, and the only way to overcome it is by using your wits. It's not just about rolling high. It's about using your wits to overcome the challenges. And it's also incorporates some new things like flow and stagnation mechanics, where we have creatures at the stat blocks. The normal text is in black, and then you have green text and some blue text. And the green text is when the creature's in stagnation mode. The blue text is when they're in flow mode. So we have these 2 different modes. So every creature has 2 different modes they're in. So when you encounter a creature that's in green mode, which is stagnation mode, they actually have different kinds of things they can do. And to affect those, or to change them, the characters can find things called flow tokens. There's flow and stagnation tokens. In the box set, they come with all of that. There's flow and stagnation dice, flow and stagnation tokens, but you don't necessarily have to have those to play the game. You can create your own too.
Right.
But you can throw them. So if a creature's in green mode, which is stagnation mode, they could take a flow token and throw it at the creature and change it into flow mode, from stagnation to flow. And so, like, for example, there's like a corrupted water elemental. It's green. You hit it, now it's blue. Now it has a totally different set of abilities and things it can do. As they're delving into the dungeon, they find out that this place was once a temple to the water goddess, Vasi. Vasi has long since kind of seems to have disappeared, and all of her priests have become like corrupted undead. And you're trying to find out what's going on in here. And in one room, you reach this room, and all of a sudden, you pass out, and this haunting happens, and you kind of pass out, and then you take out these character sheets out of here, and they're color character sheets with artwork for each character and detailed information. You give one to each player, and you say, this is your new character. You are now priests living 1,000 years in the past. And you were living in Roltmork 1,000 years ago. Now they are starting to live through what transpired. And so as they start to live and learn about temple life, people start to die, and they start to live part of that story until they themselves die, at which point they wake up back as their characters, somehow retaining this knowledge of the past. So it gives them like skin in the game, where a lot of times you read an adventure, and as a dungeon master you have this really cool story. You're like, well, I wish I could tell my players all of this. I only get to tell them like a couple of sentences. This one allows the players to actually experience what came before, therefore giving them, a reason to continue, a reason to kind of like figure out the rest of the story and try to set things right again. So it's a very involved, it's very immersive. We have an entire soundtrack. We have every single location has artwork to show the players. It has 20 minutes of like flow mode music, which is more like exploration, and then 20 minutes of stagnation music. We also have 3 bosses. Every boss has their own soundtrack, their own track on the soundtrack. We also have moving maps that you can plug into any TV. You can set a TV flat on the table. You plug in a USB stick full of these, and the newer TVs, you can just load it up and loop it, and now you've got a moving map, and you can set all your miniatures right on there. It also comes with tokens too of all the creatures, monsters, NPCs, everything. So you can put all the the little pawns, the little standees. So you can put all those on there. You can put your miniatures out there, and it's on a moving map with the audio soundtrack. I mean, with the the artwork showing where they are. It's massive immersion. Every magic item they find also has like a card that you hand them, and if they figure out what it is on the back, they flip it over and it has all the information about it. So it's a very immersive, very involved adventure. I would call it kind of a slow burn. Like, it's not something that sells like hotcakes, and part of the reason why too is beginner players come up and they're like, "Oh, what's this?" And I'm like, it's like the never-ending story when the guy's like, "This book is not for you." I'm like, "This one's not for you. We need to put this back here." It's like, this is more for the veteran players. This is for the groups where they've been playing for a while. They know what they're doing. They know how it all works, and they need to up the challenge. And if you have those groups that are even beyond that level, and they're like, like say they start playing when they're 8 to 10 years old, like us, right? And they're now 50 or 60 or 70 years old, and they have got it down. They've seen everything. They've done it all. There's a hardcore mode in there. Anywhere on the page you see blood splatter, that's hardcore mode. So you can instantly go, well, I was going to do this trap, but these guys are they're acing everything. We're moving this to hardcore mode now. And so it allows some versatility. So it goes from difficult to very hard,
I think that is going to be something a lot of people are going to steal from you.
Oh, well, they can steal that all they want. I mean, Wizards has been stealing stuff from us for a while. I just found out that they stole 2 ideas from our books.
Nice.
During this con. Yeah. I don't know what to think of that, but I know that legally I probably have no recourse, but that's okay. They could come after me for Drow. If they do that, then I'll go after them for Survivalist Guide Spelunking Momentum that they used in Baldur's Gate 3, or the or the mini dungeons that are color coded one-shot adventures that they're now using in their new system or their new rules that they just released.
They used it. It's flattering. They're bigger. You inspired them, right? I mean,
yeah. It's kind of flattering.
Kind of in a way, it's kind of
slightly perturbed at the same time. I don't know what to think.
It would be both. I would be like, wow, that's really cool. Wait a minute.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Actually, what's crazy is this is totally off topic. I really am into the Elder Scrolls games. So when they had this Blades game on mobile, I started playing it. At one point, I get to the spot and it talks about Bavonia Pass. And I go, wait a second. That's in my setting. And I have it in Roltmork, and it was on my blog way before that game came out, and I have proof of that. And it came out in the, so one of the writers probably couldn't think of some creative content and went and grabbed something.
Well,
or maybe had AI pull it from somewhere, but I was like, I was actually kind of flattered. I was like, this is kind of cool. I'm not going to sue them. I'm just going to take a screenshot and share it to my followers on social media and say, hey, look it.
Yeah, in that case, it's a little weird.
The Blades is using a location from my world.
Yeah. I know in the last year, I've created 3 names. Yeah. And I've either seen them in TV or in print.
Isn't that weird?
After the fact.
Isn't that
strange?
One
of them was in Reacher, and it was Bazaar's Bazaar. I named a bazaar in my game world, Bazaar's Bazaar.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so I know that, and it's not in print, so I know they couldn't have just taken it from me.
It could also just be one of those ideas, like that's what I thought with some of these things too. It could just be an idea and it's just floating around out there.
Yeah.
And so eventually someone else is going to have that
same thing. Idea.
It's the same thing with it. Someone did a Kickstarter recently for this little mini dungeon, this little like pocket dungeon where you could take it with you. Todd Gamble and I came up with that idea. The very first Gen Con we came to back in like 2012, we came up with this idea of having this little like almost like cards, but like all these tiny miniatures and like a little dungeon that you could play on cards. So you could have like, one of those little mobile, like portable games like you used to have with like those games that you would play in the car.
Yeah.
So you could sit there on the airplane and set up and say, let's play a 2-player D&D game.
Pocket editions.
Yeah, and it really tiny dice and stuff. So we came up with this idea because he's really into miniatures. So Todd Gamble and I had talked about, we could do this like miniature little dungeon game and stuff. never did it. And then just recently, a few months ago, someone came up with Pocket Dungeon on Kickstarter. Just, you know, it went like wildfire, you know. But it's like, it's just like anything. We have an idea, it floats around up there. Someone may take it, and you know, it's kind of like, I can't remember who said. I think it was like John Lennon from the Beatles. Said something about like everybody kind of steals from everybody else. It's like we're all inspired by something somewhere from someone, and other people get inspired by those ideas, and it just keeps going. You know.
In high school, my creative writing teacher always said, "You're not going to write a new story, but you'll create new characters."
Yeah, true.
She's like, everything that has ever been possible of being written about has been written.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if technology changes. Somehow, some way, that story already existed.
Yeah, it's like Joseph Campbell, right? What's it called? Tale. Oh gosh, I'm so tired after this. There's so many days since con, but was it Hero of a Thousand Faces? Is that the title of
right.
Joseph Campbell book? Yeah. Yeah, he'd always say, like, he'd go to all these different cultures and see that the same tales would be told. He's like, there's a certain amount of these stories, right? There might be like 7 or 8 different versions that repeat and are just slightly different, but they continue culture to culture because it's our brain has this idea, you know, has this mentality. We like latch onto this idea of these stories. You know, someone says, I was down by the river and I saw a tiger, and you know, and it's like immediately your brain goes to that and you start thinking about it, and then what happened next? You know, did the tiger go after you? Did you get away? Like, you know, you immediately want to know, well, what happened after that? You know, it's like your brain latches onto that because it's like a survival instinct thing. You want to know what happened next because you don't want to be the one that the tiger gets.
No, you don't. No, you don't. All right, I think that covers that. Everything.
We can talk all day.
I can see that.
We can talk all week.
We've already been going an hour. It's an hour-long interview.
Well, I'm enjoying it. You
know, it's a good talk. It is good. I mean,
fun. Hopefully you edit it down a little bit. So.
Hi guys, meet the Nibbles, who's gonna go down. She just decided not to go down my back, so we'll do this for her so she's comfy. Thanks for watching my video, and I appreciate it. Please hit the like button and share it if you know somebody who might be interested. And of course, there's always Twitter and the Facebook thingy, and soon I have a newsletter coming. That'll be down there or in a link below, and my kitty cat loves that idea. So anyway, there was one more thing. Oh yeah, subscribe. Be a part of my community, our community. Let's make it grow together. See you guys at a con somewhere, or a local store, or if I'm driving through the country, maybe a game club. I don't know, you're not going to go knock down my camera. Bye guys.